Oui, share. Okay, let's start now. Warm welcome to our masters, Brother Huang, Hualien Dharma team, and brothers and sisters around the globe to Saturday Hualien Dharma Talk. A very good morning. Let us start the session for today. Today, I would like to share a short accepted master's speech. Creating blessings to gain blessings, and every bit is gained by oneself. Doing good deeds every day, contributing bit by bit. Cultivate a kind heart to save people. Saving people brings about benefits and wisdom at the same time. What can I do with the savings of 50 cents each day? Can the savings of the 50 cents really save people? Every bit is gathered for the good of mankind as everyone has love. Gather strength to save people and create blessings. Creating blessings to gain blessings, and every bit is gained by oneself. Okay, earn the master's teaching. Now let us send our sincere prayers into the 10 directions. May the Sabah land be free from disaster and peace prevails in the world. Let us sing the prayer song with sincere piousness. minds be purified. May there be peace in the community. May there be no disasters in the world. Now let us pray together for universal love and blessing. With loving respect, gratitude, and confidence, let us wish every person in our lives a healthy body, an enlightened mind, and a total fulfillment in universal love. Now let us expand this consciousness to include every person in the world, every being in the universe. Let our unified love make this wonderful world even better. Let us all immerse ourselves in the joyful embrace of universal love. Before we hear the wonderful sharing, let us invite our masters to lead us in paying homage to the Triple Gems. Let us pay our respects for these teachings and explanations to the Buddha and Master Ching Yen by making 3 sincere bows. Please rise, palms together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And a bow to our beloved Abode Masters who could join us today. Okay, today we have Brother Joe who will be sharing with us on the Dharma insights, and followed by Brother Chong, Chee sharing on the footprints from Pitas, and followed by Brother Victor and Sister Janet sharing on accompanying the wandering heart to the shore. Okay, before that, let us invite Sister Su Ching for the weekly summary. Sister Su Ching, over to you. Cảm ơn.
Sister Lily. Bring up. Last week, Brother Johan spoke. He said, Ananda spoke of those at Buddha's side. Their names inspire, their virtues our guide. We share their nature and can be bodhisattvas too, yet they excel that deeds are great and true. 3 traits of theirs: patience and vows held long. Third is their greatness from a will so strong. Patience we can have, if selfishness we shun. Reflect, repent, and advance until the work is done. Vows that are made firm will result in mindful actions we take. Prepare mentally for each challenge and know what is at stake. Endurance is needed, especially when paths seem rough, for the greater good when times are tough. With clear mind and wisdom, it's now time to forge ahead, even when facing doubts and dread. We have an impermanence reminds, don't wait, we must act now. 80,000 believe, we too must vow. Brother Cheng and I spoke next. So this is from Brother Cheng. In 2007, Brother Cheng joined Tzu through his wife from Penang, not quite willingly. Photography he loved, so he took the chance, documenting Tzu's events at a glance. With many affinities, connections grew strong. In Tzu missions, he felt he belonged. 3-in-1 activities were varied and wide. He followed their work with a camera by his side. Brother Cheng joined PCBC when his son was 7. The English class were inspiring his son and felt like heaven. From year to year, his son thought the lessons were great, so he followed along and his journey in learning did not abate. Over the years, he joined the program team. He gained more and new knowledge and his skills did gleam. He learned about life's impermanence profound. To serve and bear in kindness he found all around. Giving freely without seeking any in return. In mindfulness, excellence he did discern. From a reluctant start to a skilled photographer. Now in his craft, Brother Cheng's a true connoisseur. And this is from me, so I'll speak it in like I'm reading it, so it will not be in the third person. 20 years ago, Tzu called my name. Through my mother's path, I joined the same. However, it was in March 2018, a trip to Hualien inspired, that I turned vegetarian and my commitment was fired. I volunteered that year because I was troubled about my son. hoping PCBC would help him. A step has begun. Throughout 2019, his rebellion was clear. Though he didn't like Chee, I stayed near. From 2020 onwards, I joined the program team, and 5 years flew by. The pandemic years passed, a relief and a sigh. I got immersed in Chee activities and experienced growth in each deed. I found my own way, fulfilling my need. Though PCBC worked well, it is not the only way. Chee offers many paths in which we can all stay. In the doing, there is much to learn and see. Each step taken forward brings wisdom to me. Okay, then there is the brother Amakesh and sister Rabina from Nepal. Sister Rabina has 7 sisters and 1 brother too. Growing up, she followed her father to buy goods anew. 3 times a week at 5, she cycled to school. First met Chee in 2022 and felt it was cool. She was happy at the free clinic. Joy did she find. She learned about Jieh aphorisms and recycling combined. She taught in 10 schools, a week so bright. What she taught, she learned again, and that is a true delight. Afraid at first, but through the courage, but through doing, courage became more. She found joy in students with clean classrooms to adore. She observed that life's impermanent and wisdom stays forever. Wisdom forever stays. Love is boundless and spirit never decays. Inspired by master stories and wisdom so keen, she found a chance to Taiwan, a dream then unseen, aiming to enroll more hearts to align, to build a future of a Chee design. Brother Amakesh said, in Brother Amakesh's community, inspiration to help grew. He used to listen to many, unsure what to do. Now seizing chances, shifting out negativity, with Jieh aphorism, wisdom comes naturally. He has grown in insight, clearer paths he sees. Helping others is a better vision, definitely. Chee as a platform to guide is indeed a rare find. Chee strengthens and gives meaning to many hearts and minds. Thank you for listening. I shall stop sharing right now. Hand over to Brother Chin to introduce our next speaker. Brother Chin, over to you.
Guidance Sister Su Ching, good morning, brothers and sisters. Welcome again to another session, Saturday morning session. And we got, as you can notice earlier, we have 3 sessions this morning. So we're beginning with welcoming Brother Joe this morning. He's going to share with us his insights, Dharma insights, and Brother Joe, we look forward to your insights. Platform all yours.
Okay, thank you, Brother Chin. Thank you, Sister Su Ching, and everybody, Sister Lily. Good morning, everybody. We're back to our Saturday morning sharing. And let me first share with you this past week, which if you know, if you've been watching Dai TV, you know that there is a typhoon that hit Taiwan. And it's for a while now. We haven't had something like this that's as big as this. Usually for typhoon, and this is how I was growing up. I have always been a very fortunate person in terms of when I was growing up. I've always, there's always Taiwan, and there's always very, very serious typhoon hits. But the place that I live, we never really had any, you always take the day off, but you never had any problems. There wasn't even a lot of wind or rain in my memory when I was growing up. So I've always been very fortunate. And for a lot of time, we were fortunate because, after I moved to Hualien about 14 years ago, I know that Hualien has been a place of many earthquakes. And we never really did have, huge quakes. Well, guess what? All these changed this year, right? You've always thought that they weren't anything to be so worried about, the typhoon and the earthquake. Well, this year, the perception all changed. And it's very quick to change. All you needed was something like this to harden your memory and then you remember these things are not so easy. These things are not going to just be automatically an okay. No, it's not. It's something that you just have to be very, very careful about. Very, very careful about. And so it's something that something to always keep in mind. And so on the 23rd, that's when we have the warnings come out. And okay, so I'm going to share with you now. I'm gonna go through what's happening in the past few days, and then we're going to get into today's sharing if we have more time. Okay, so I'm going to show you what happened. And so this is when the wind finally, about the 24th in the afternoon, that's when all the wind just dumps into Hualien. So this is Hualien. Okay, so this is Hualien. This is not the abode yet. This is Hualien. And so this is our usual site. If you have come to Hualien before, then you know that train is one of the most important way of traffic. And so you can see that the speed of the wind and the amount of rain. So now this is Jieh, this is the abode. And you can see that the water was just pouring down. And this wasn't even the hardest yet. Okay, so we were still taking pictures as if this is, okay. But the wind was just blowing hard. And you can see further, not just the ones in the front, but the further out, you would see that the wind was just really blowing hard, and there was no place. If you didn't close the windows, it was all wet. It was instantly wet, okay? I have had memories of strong wind before during typhoon, but it wasn't sustained, as in the wind didn't come and stay for that long. You would see the wind, and you would see the effect of the wind, and the flapping of the tarps and the tree that were they were wavering back and forth, but it didn't sustain for a long time. So for the 24th, the 23rd afternoon, beginning on the 23rd afternoon, it was no, I'm sorry. Let me get the timing straight. The 23rd was the warning. The warning goes out. The land and the land wind warning and the ocean warning, and then the 24th was the day where we would where the typhoon makes landfall on Taiwan. And so all the things that you see on these videos were when the actual center of the typhoon makes landfall onto Taiwan. And because the place that it touches was exactly Hualien, a little bit north of Hualien, between Yilan and Hualien. And therefore you would see the strongest wind. It was coming from the ocean. There was nothing obstructing its path. So it was getting stronger and stronger because the temperature is high. The higher the temperature, the more moisture that the air can hold. And therefore, the more rain is going to come. And the longer that it stays on the ocean, the more moisture and the more force it's going to pick up, because there's nothing obstructing it. And as soon as it makes landfall, that the structure of the typhoon will get disrupted because of the obstacles, right? The buildings and the trees and all of that. So supposedly it's going to lessen the strength, and there's no more water vapor that it can pick up from the ocean, right? So it loses strength on both sides, both in terms of the structural damage, and also it lessens the water that it can pick up, because you're not on land. But even more so, the first 24 hours of making landfall, depending on the speed, the first 24 hours before making a landfall, or after making a landfall, it's actually the time where it's the strongest, and it's making all the damages. This is what you see here, right? And the worst part about this is all these things that we're looking at right now, they are not after the typhoon makes landfall. It's before. And because the typhoon, before the center gets into Taiwan, it circles. And so you get the worst of the combination, right? If you make landfall, then the structure gets damaged and it cannot pick up water vapor, so it gets weaker on both sides. It gets damaged, and the wind gets damaged, right? Because it gets blocked by all the buildings, and then the water vapor you don't get more to sort of reinforce the strength of the typhoon. But now it just stays outside. And so while the wind is damaging you, it's picking up more rain, it's picking up more water, and all the rain and the wind, it's sort of building itself back up. It's not getting, lessening in any degree. So it stayed out there for a couple more hours before it finally comes in. And so that's when this happens, right? On that day, on that night, actually on the next morning, about 2 or 3 a.m., was when it actually makes landfall. But this was 12 hours ago, 12 hours before the center making the landfall. So you could see that this is in the afternoon, about 12 hours before the center of the eye of the typhoon making landfall. So you can already see that the wind was blowing real hard. And if you didn't do any preparation, you're gone. And that's what happened. The preparation was that you had to remove all the things from the windows, all the things that's loose, you got to remove them. Take them indoors, right? Close all the windows, close all the doors, because the moment that it's open, the water's going to come in, and it's too late. It's going to be all wet, and it's going to cause water damage, and it's going to cause flooding inside. Okay, that's what happened. You thought that they were closed, they were not. There's any small opening, it's going to get blown open, and it's going to get the water dumps in, and it's going to have flooding on the inside. And it happens, it happens. If you didn't do the preparation good enough, that's what's going to happen. If you miss out on any small steps, we're supposedly closing all these things, this is going to happen. So we have damages to some of our indoors. We have flooding indoors because there were places that we thought were closed, they didn't get closed. And there were places where you had to retract some of these extensions. There are these aluminum extensions, aluminum frames, or light steel frames. If you didn't retract them, if you didn't keep them in, if they're still extended, it's all gonna get blown out of place. It's gonna all get destroyed. And you have tarps. If you didn't retract them, it's gone. So that's what all the typhoon preparation was supposed to be doing. And if you didn't do it, it's too late. So this was in Hualien. You can see that on the 24th, even under the protection, all these things. So this is what happened around Hualien, around the road, around the abode. The trees were down, and you can see that it's not like small branches. These are bigger ones. These are not the ones that you can just pick up by manpower. You can't. And that's why for some time the traffic around the abode were blocked. So there were people on the day of 24th that were here. They were here having these emergency disaster relief meetings. They left a little bit later. They were still here on duty. And when the wind comes at around 4 p.m., you were just looking outside and you were thinking like, oh, it should be okay. It's picking up. Maybe it's time that we wrap up here. And by the time that you're getting ready to go, it's too late. Your car is blocked, right? So there were some staff, there were some employees that were, going to the garage and going to the parking, and they were driving out, and the trees were falling. And so they come out of the car, and they're moving the branches from the road. And as soon as they removed it, the bigger ones come down. So they can't, something like this, you can't move them by hand. I mean, it's not something that you can just lift it. You can't. This is like a trunk of the tree. You can't. And so they had to stay at the abode overnight. So that's what happened, right? This is bigger than we've seen before because the wind was fierce and it was sustained. And therefore, the road were blocked. And so that's what happened. So all around, we were glad that at least, other than the trees that were fell, there were no more property damages, nor were there any injuries. And this is something that we're very blessed with, we're very blessed about, we're very thankful for, because there was no injuries, there was no anything, and there was no visible property damage other than a lot of trees were felled this particular day. This is all the next day when we were now caring for our neighbors. Jinse, the abode was okay, was fine, other than a lot of trees that were felled, but and there were some water damages here and there, but other than that, we're okay. We're okay. And we go around to the neighborhood to see what's going on, and so this is what happened at our on the ground, on the compound of the abode. This is what you see. Trees were all over the place, even something like this, the bigger trees. So even if the branches didn't break off, you would see them, they get, just fell over and they were just uprooted. I mean, this is something that just tells you how strong the wind was. These are not water, this is wind. And if you have the wind that's really, really strong, it's not gonna blow over the trees like this, right? Imagine this, right? Imagine this. One, if you just have one blew over or two blew over, right? And the tree would just swivel. It would just, shake left and right. But if you have sustained, wind, it's almost like you're pulling, I don't want to say pulling your teeth, but if you're pulling something, and then what you would do is you would wiggle left and right, right? You wiggle left and right. You're sort of loosening its foundation. Then this thing happens. It gets uprooted because left, right, and then what's going to happen? Your foundation gets loosened and eventually it gets pulled over, okay? So when you have sustained wind like this, this is what happened. And we're glad, at least the tree itself didn't get snapped, it gets snapped over. But this is what you see when the wind is sustained. Because the tree just gets left, right all the time, then the foundation, it's loose, right? It's sort of jerking free from the ground that it was supposedly grabbing onto, and then it gets pulled out. Okay, so you either see the tree get snapped, or the trees like this, it was strong enough, but you can't help because the foundation just get, it just get jiggled out of the space. Okay, that's why when you have a forest, this doesn't happen. Why? Because the wind doesn't knock you left and right. It doesn't knock your foundation off. When you have a forest, it protects you from left, right with such ferocity that it uproots and it loosens your foundation. Okay, so this is something that I learned, right? Something that you see, well, why is that we had strong wind before, but it didn't get uprooted? Because it wasn't sustained. The more sustained there is, the tree just gets left, right all the time, that it's just gonna loosen and it's gonna get uprooted like this. Okay, so something like this, we learn something all the time. Okay, so you see trees, they were not snapped over, it was not broken in half, it was just complete uprooted, okay? Because it just left, right, and eventually you just, you're able to pull it out. Okay, so, and afterwards, okay, so this was yesterday, still raining, but not as bad. But you see a lot of these branches, big or small, and now it's time to clean up, right? So it's amazing. You gotta clean this up. Right? You gotta clean this up, right? So 师父 so the 师父 for the past 3 days have been doing this cleanup. So 师父 was just saying that it would be impossible, right? If you don't have enough people, look at this. Even the big trees. Well, we're not thinking about the big trees. At least let's try to get, try to get all these trees.
只剪成小块的，请大家来帮忙拉。
Okay, so the person that was taking the video was calling out to people to say, come on, let's do the work. Come on, let's join the work to clean up. Okay, because even if you have the huge trees, you would have to have the
每
saw
个师傅
to
都
break
做
them.
的像水里捡来的一样，全身都湿透。
So that's for the past few days. And then, you know, when you think the worst is over, no, the worst has just begun because you got to clean up. Okay, you got to clean up. So for those of you that's going to come back to the abode next time, you see the ground is in perfect shape or it's in very clean, very, very tidy. You know, it's hard to imagine, but imagine that, you know, it takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of, it takes a lot of manpower to keep it like this, especially after a win like this, when a lot of things were, it just completely goes out. So you see all the down trees. Now it's time to sort of try to get these things back to normal, and we're so very thankful. Last night we were the night before we were still listening to everybody to Master saying that everybody was just so tired. And that's the worst, right? The worst is not yet over. It's not the wind is over, the rain is over. No, it's you gotta, how do you clean this up? Look at all the trees. Most of them were broken. They were all snapped in half. Otherwise, they were all lying flat. So now what are you going to do? Right? You got to clean this up. Look at all the piles. They were all now prepared, right? So all this is already much better now. So that's sort of what's happening now. Jieh is very safe. It's just very tiring. I didn't do the work. I was just doing the part of the inside work where the cleaning of the inside, making sure that not flooding. So in and out, I mean, there are some things that we have to take care of, but supposedly today, this morning, we have a lot more work to join Sifu to sort of clean up. Unfortunately, we have more meetings, but I'm sure that there are more brothers and sisters coming to the abode to help with the cleanup effort. Okay, so that's the sort of the update for the for what's going on, so that we all know that first of all, Jieh is safe, the abode is safe. We weathered this storm, and unfortunately, there were across Taiwan there were a lot more damages, property damages, than what we're seeing here. But Jieh is safe. And just these last 2 days, we have Master Chen Yan has been having online conferences with all the different places in Taiwan, the central and the southern part of Taiwan. There's a lot of flooding going on. It's not so much the wind damage because we're on the east coast of Taiwan. So the wind, the typhoon comes in through the east coast. So we were hit first with the strongest wind. But the west coast of Taiwan, they're mostly shielded by the central mountains. But the problem isn't the wind. The problem is the rain. So it picked up a lot of water, and it dumps a lot of water onto the central mountainside. So the mountainside, so we have a lot of flooding happening. And also, historically, on the southern part, there's a lot of flooding going on whenever there's a lot of rain. So that's what we're seeing now. Okay, so this is the update to let everybody know we're okay. And we're continuing the relief effort now for many places in Taiwan, as we're sort of, the wind is now past, the typhoon is now past, and it's now headed to China. So our China brothers and sisters are also working hard to make preparations, and also the team prepares a report every day to make sure Master is kept updated, to know all the situations. Okay, so that's the part about the typhoon, and we're okay. So let's move on to what we're going to talk about this time. Okay, so last time, as Su Ching talked about, the part of the virtues, the text that we're in Sutra, was talking about the followers. These followers how did they achieve where they were? How did they achieve the followers of the Buddha? That they're very different from just the people they're greeting, but they have cultivated a lot, and so therefore their achievements were much higher than those of us. And how did they achieve that? So that's what we talked about. But now we're going to be talking about the not just the qualities, but how did they do that? How did they do that? So there are 5 parts, and if you know the Sutra of Infinite Meanings, this is the part that gets quoted the most by Master Cheng Yen. And this is the part where Master Cheng Yen says, every time she reads these part, it always brings the memories back about when she was first getting into the Sutra of Infinite Meanings, the vow and the strength always giving her. So this is the very important part. It's actually pivotal in terms of the content. But you know, if you look at the big picture, where we are, so we have just talked about all these followers. How were they able to achieve to become role models? We just talk about these great people that accomplished so much, and now this part goes in detail about how they were able to do that, about how they were able to sort of attain great wisdom, how they were able to sustain their vows, and all these were happening in the next section. So this is a very important section, and there were a lot of ideas that were talked about. So let's head into it. I mean, we had 5 minutes, but let's just see how far I can get to. So first of all, how were we able to get to where these great disciples have gotten? Well, first of all, precepts, samadhi, and wisdom. And these are the 3 learnings that we've always learned about that you need to know, right? The precepts and the samadhi, right? And wisdom. So what is precept? So precepts help us prevent and guard against something. Okay, the book says something. and so my question is, what is this something? What does the precept guard against? What is it guarding against? Something, what is this something? And so the next step is precepts are there to help us so that we don't do something unknowingly. And this is something that I brought up before. You know, you always think precept as something that's restricting us. You can't do this, you can't do that, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And that's true, that's precept. But another way to look at it is there are so many things that if you are not careful that you're doing, that you're not even aware of. And this is why Master says we have to be mindful. Being mindful allow us to know the things that we didn't know before. For example, if you're not mindful of the places that you step on, it is very possible that you're stepping on very small creatures like ants unknowingly, right? So Master always says, being mindful, be mindful, right? Be mindful all the time. Because if you're not mindful, you're doing things that might not be good. Not only that, you're doing this unknowingly, like you didn't even know you did it. Okay? Now, why is that important? Because if you understand karma, we are doing so many bad things already. Like, you know, the greed, the anger, the delusion, all the things that we're doing are already contributing to doing something that's not good. We're building up negative karma because we're doing something according to our greed, according to our anger, according to our delusions. So we're eating animal life, we're eating lives. We're taking their lives and eating their bodies and their flesh. That's what we're doing. And if you're not mindful, you're doing this without knowing that this is bad. So I was growing up and I was a meat eater. I became a vegetarian when I was about 22, 23. So even though I've been vegetarian for more than 20 years, but for the first 20 some years, I didn't even know that this was bad. So you were doing something bad. And worst of all, you didn't even know that you're doing them. Okay. So that's not being mindful. Now, being mindful just allows you to know, you realize that you're doing something that's not good. And then you take one step further. Having precepts means that not only is that you know that you shouldn't do them, but you stop doing them because you're upholding the precepts. So that's what precept is, right? First of all, it makes sure that you have to be mindful of the things that you're doing. Some of them are good, some of them are not good. You have to be mindful. You have to know that the things that you're doing is not good. And then you take the step of upholding precepts to stop doing that. Okay, so it's actually 2 steps. And so the precepts, it's not just the action, but it tells you, don't do these things, so that you know that you're very careful to take every step very clearly, very carefully, so you don't unknowingly step on lives that you accidentally kill. That's what precepts helps you. Being mindful, taking every step closely, carefully, and do not, you should be a vegetarian, and therefore you don't take lives unknowingly. Okay, so precepts allow you to do that. So that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you, and we're gonna continue pick up the precepts where we left off today. But just want to tell everybody we're safe. If you happen to be in Taiwan, if you happen to be in Hualien, join us to clean up. But if you're not, it's okay. Just know that we're safe, and know that we're continuing our effort to make sure our home is safe. And next time we should be even more careful and vigilant in terms of making sure that we do all the preparation right. And so do not, just for the past 10 years that it was safe, do not just assume that it's going to be okay. Always be vigilant, always think about, be careful, and always be thinking about there's something that we have to be very careful about. Follow through your SOPs. Don't just slack off just because nothing is happening. Okay, so thank you all, and we're safe, and I wish that everybody remains safe in all the times. And so hopefully that our brothers and sisters and all the people in China, they're not going to be affected so harshly. We know that this typhoon went through Philippines, and there were a lot of damages there too. And so a lot of rain, a lot of wind. And now here in Taiwan, we're sort of going into the rebuilding phase too. We're sort of surveying and also doing distribution today, tomorrow, and I'm sure the next few days, that's what's going to happen, and rebuilding. And I hope that in China, everybody's okay. So thank you, and have a great weekend. And we're just going to be continuing to clean up our home. Thank you.
Karan, Brother Joe, so much for updating us what's happening to Hualien. And if I may, Brother Joe, maybe perhaps in maybe the next week or the week after, whenever you're available, I always wonder, the Lotus Sutra, it was discovered hundreds of years after the time of the Buddha. So I understand, and I'm just wondering the discovery of the Lotus Sutra, and maybe you can find out for us, from Master, and it would be quite interesting to and
let me just be clear, Brother Ching. What do you mean? Do you mean the historical?
Yeah,
the historical discovery.
Yeah, because it didn't surface immediately after the time of the Buddha. It was surface, as I understand it, hundreds of years after the time of the, maybe 500 years. I can't remember. I'm just curious how it who discovered it first time.
Brother Chin, I'll just be honest with you. I'm just gonna do Googling, okay? Because I'm not the historian, and I'm not the Buddhist historian. And I do know that there were other theories around where people were saying that this was a made up sutra, especially the Sutra of Infinite Meanings, because it actually came out even later. That's why not many not many Buddhist sects actually follow this sutra, because not many people knew about it. So was it real? Was it not? And to me, I think it was very difficult, because Master always says that it was nearly impossible to trace all the way to 2,500 years ago to what was actually said, to what was actually written down, to what was actually recorded, to what was actually translated. And all these things were adding a little bit of varying elements into this. Does it really happen? Is it really like this? Was this really what Buddha said? And was it really like this? And so it's beyond the point where we could, as laymen, to actually try to figure out, is it real? And I'm sure even for historians, there were a lot of conflicting views about what's real and what's not real. And even they cannot precisely and without any shadow of doubt that it's either real or it's not real. Even they cannot do that. So let alone a layman like me, I'm not a historian. I'm not somebody who goes into these architectural, not architectural, but the diggings to figure out, where was it on earth and what was it written, and even if it was written in this native language. So I wouldn't be the expert. I'm not the expert of anything, but especially this. Okay, so the archaeology of the backgrounds and when was it on earth. So I wouldn't be the authority. So we could discuss this, but I wouldn't be the one to give a talk on this, because I think it would just be, sharing with you how I feel after I read what's on Google. So I think that would not be a very good session to share this knowledge.
Thank you so much, Brother Joe, for your on this. All right, next we move on to Brother Chong from Pitas. As I understand it, Brother Chong, Pitas from in Sabah, and I think we're going to look forward to your very heartwarming session. As I understand it, in Pitas, you help the pregnant mothers. And at that time, it had a very high mortality rate, and what you and your team have done not so much to bring the mortality rate down to zero. Truly inspiring. Platform is all yours, Brother Chong.
Thank you, Brother Chin. Brother Joe, can you hear?
Yes, very loud and clear.
Okay, very good morning to all, brother, sister. And my name is Chong Chee. People used to call me DK. See? I'm just a volunteer, was in charge of Kinabalu. And at this time, I should thank Sister Su Ching to call me and then ask me to share a bit about Pitas.
Brother, the sound is coming on and off. Maybe you can speak near the speaker a bit, the mic a bit. It would help.
Okay,
It's okay now.
I see. Wait, So is it okay now?
Yes.
So when we talk about Pitas, one figure come across my mind is 1,800. So this 1,800 at the moment is the baby born via our home. So these homes we have started it since 2003, 2003, and we call it 生命关怀之家 because this home is so different from the others we have done. See, this is maybe the only home in I was understand that in the world. See, there is no such home only in Pitas. It's a very, very unique home, and every day is a celebration there. Newborn. Every day celebrate birthday there. See? So people are very happy staying in this home. Every day you can see new lives, and there's a lot of love and care in this home. See, from this home, we even have baby born with the name of Chee. Mothers are so happy. See? And also, so our 1,000 baby born in this home, named Shih, Chelsea, they call it Shih. Because at that time, 1,000 baby came to via this home. We had a naming session, a naming program during that time. So finally, parents chose the name to be Shih. Okay, where is this home? The home is in this small town called Pitas. Pitas. Pitas is a very, very small town, and then it's about 200 kilometers away from. If we use a car to reach this Pitas, it takes about 3 to 3.5 hours to be there. See? It is a northern part of Sabah. See? It's northern part of Sabah, and the road is not very good. So especially, see, there are so many kampong, there's so many villages around that area. And then most of the people stays there, the kampong people, the villagers, they are plantation workers, they are fishermen, most of them. And very interior, very interior. No proper road system. People, villagers have to walk, take small boat, come out to Pitas town. And then sometimes it takes 1 or 2 days. If they want to come to the town, they need to walk. And most of these people are called Kadasan Dusun and some Rungus and orang Sungai. Of course, very few Chinese. Only maybe in Pitas town. This town, Pitas, is also very, very poor. It's considered as the poorest state in Malaysia. Malaysia. Population is around 30 over to 40,000 there. And mostly are Christian and especially the transport system so difficult. So that's why it makes people the kampong, the villagers just don't like to go to the town because so far away and so difficult because of the road. And then no proper road system. It takes them long time, and then they have to pay money to go to the town. And like there are very few vehicles there. I mean, now there may be more because those days, I'm thinking about 20 years ago, when even we go inside the kampong, it takes few days to go to reach them. See, I still remember at one time when we bring doctors to kampong and try to do this medical outreach, this and that. See, we need to bring our own petrol for the boats. We need to bring a lot of things where they couldn't get it there. See, that area there is no petrol station, no petrol kiosk. You just cannot buy any petrol. We have to bring it from outside. You have to carry in to the riverside and then give petrol to the boatman, and then otherwise you just can't. Go. You give them money also, they can't do anything. So those days so difficult, and even nowadays there are still many kampungs still same. They still need to use the small boat because the river also not like the big river there where the bigger boat. These are very small motorboat or can go in. See? And why are we setting up a house, home like this in this area? See, people may wonder why you guys going to put up a house there, so far away and then so difficult to reach. So there must be a reason that because during that time, see, we at Su Ching, we also not know that about that. See, because we used to go there for medical outreach, and And then there was a doctor called by the name of Chee, a very, very loved and caring doctor, the director of the hospital. And then during that time, he told us that about the mortality rate there. Because that at that time the mortality rate in that area is the highest in Malaysia. One state, Sabah, the mortality rate is higher than all of Malaysia, the rest of the 12 states. Then, and most of this mortality rate come from this district of Pitas, a small town, small place. And they are mostly mothers and babies. Of course, there are some other also. And because of that, see, he also suggested, he said, Dr. T said, he tried to apply to the government to set up a home for the mothers, for the baby, to help these people so that to try to reduce. But he couldn't get it because the government did not do anything and has been waiting for so many years, couldn't do anything. So when he met Chee, he raised this issue to Chee. See, he raised the issue to Chee. Sorry. And due to the transportation, due to the roads, it makes the kampung people, it makes the mothers and the patient, the sick people, they just don't like to go to the hospital because so far away if they want to go to the hospital, especially the pregnant mothers. See, before they deliver, they need to walk maybe one day to reach the hospital. A lot of time during this distance from kampung, from the village, they walk to the hospital, halfway, they deliver. And without help, sometimes the baby died. Sometimes the mothers have problem or die. See, there is no proper lack of medical care because the distance. So that's why they make them, they don't go to the hospital. So a lot of these pregnant mothers, they prefer to deliver in the kampung, in the village, using the traditional way, maybe their own way. See? And that also causes a lot of risks because there is no medication or whatever. Okay? Because of all this, we in Su Ching, when we heard about this, we were thinking, see, how can we help? So the suggestion to us is that to make a home, to build a home, so that the mothers, the pregnant mothers, can come and stay in our home earlier, maybe 1 month before the delivery or 2 weeks. The pregnant mother can come earlier to stay in our home. So when we come to understand this, this is not a very difficult, actually not a very difficult project. Okay? So we went to Hualien and briefed our master. Master told us that to save life, very important. We must not wait. We must do it now, immediately. See? So with the master's blessing at those days, we quickly take up this project. So we came back from Taiwan. Immediately we look for a house there. Luckily, we managed to find a house very near to the hospital. 5 minutes drive from the house to the hospital. So we rented a house at first. We rent the house there. And then we renovate the house. We make it into a few beds. At first, I think maybe 6 to 8 beds for the mothers. So we engage a caretaker there. The local, because the caretaker is kampung villagers to help us. So we started the house. Then we started to let all the kampung, the villagers know whether near or far. And then our volunteers, those days, I remember, spend so much time. Go into the interior part. Go and visit all the kampung. Go and visit all the clinic kesihatan. Just let them know that if any mothers, pregnant mothers, are ready to get birth or what, they can come out earlier, maybe 1 month or 2 weeks earlier. Just come and stay in our churches. This rumah penyayang, we call it, compassion home, midway home. So they can come there and stay and just wait until the day when the mother can go delivery. And then we have arranged our caretaker to bring them to the hospital. When the day labor pain come or whatever, our caretaker can send them to the hospital. So we work very hard because at first there is no mother coming. Even the hospital also wanted to help, but no. See, I have a video want to share with you. I hope someone can help me to play one, the first part.
Okay, brother. Brother, I'll play.
Yeah, is it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, please help me do.
On. There are 3 videos.
Yeah, play the first
Play.
one.
Play this one.
马来西亚亚庇毕达士生命关怀之家
Is that okay?
Yeah, please.
于2003年5月成立，让来自偏远山区的孕妇到此待产，成为当地妈妈们的守护者，更获得毕达士中央医院的认同。
Some unsafe delivery practice, so that one is an issue because there's risk of bleeding and then leads to maternal death. I've learned that they have already 700 plus kids born through this system. So, I mean, it's just safe delivery basically. So you still need to keep this center for at least 15 years. You still need this center.
生命关怀之家迈入第10年，建筑结构变得简陋。亚庇志工计划重建，让妈妈们拥有更妥善的安身、安心的地方。筹备过程中，志工特地前往毕达士中央医院与院方接洽，希望在重建期间，院方能安顿待产妈妈们的住宿与3餐。
Pitas离我们又那么远，然后最后呢，终于想到，我们来找那个医院的院长，院长也很放心，他可以把bilik pelawat呢让给我们的这个妈妈待产的妈妈们住。
重建过程需要耗费半年的时间，期间志工不辞劳远，从亚庇驱车3小时到毕达士探访妈妈们，也关心建设进度。当中遇上20岁的新任妈妈丽卡与刚出世的宝宝。
Habis dia ini anak pertama, jadi yang mula-mula kandungan dia melintang. Jadi diorang kawal lah, Bang. Yang anak aku memang sana dia tinggal sana lah waktu dia mengandung sampai beranak lah. Habis mana-mana kampung pun kalau masa mengandung kan mesti tinggal sana, terutama sekali yang jauh-jauh lah. Sampai selama-lama pun ada kemewahan kami.
期许重建后的生命关怀之家发挥更大的功能，在偏远的乡区部落抢救生命，更守护生命。大爱新闻杨秋凤，马来西亚亚庇报道。
Yeah, thank you. So this house now it become very nice because we rented the house. Just now you may see the wooden house. That was the one we rented. After we used that house for 10 years, and then later on we bought the house, we renovate and we rebuild it. We rebuild it into a new concrete house. So now it is a very nice concrete house with 10 beds, like, see, and every time 10 mothers can come in to stay in the house. The doctor, at the moment, this house is managed by Su Ching, and then we have a caretaker, so to look after the house. Every time there is a pregnant mothers come in, we will allow them to stay in. See, we provide them with food, and then we look after them, and then of course the house is only for mothers, for women. The husband or the men are not allowed to go in this house. For security purpose. That's for security purpose. So that solved a lot of problems. Since we started the house, and after that, the mortality rate becomes 0. So it improved tremendously and so good. And then everybody are so happy that it really helped to solve all these problems. Solve all the problems. And for the last 20 years, it's now already 21st year. Really, we were thinking whether to celebrate 20-year anniversary. So we have operated this house for last 20 years. And then every month, because of the distance from KK to reach our house, takes about 3.5 hours. So if our volunteer from KK to visit the house, it takes 1 whole day to go there. Then after we can do, every month our volunteer will go there to do cleaning up, to look after, the maintenance and everything, to see the mothers, and also our caretaker there. So every month our volunteer will be going there one time. So far it was so good. Okay, because our volunteer also take turns to go because it is so far away, and then volunteer also wanted to know what's going on there, and during these 20 years, especially for the first few years, the mothers get very excited, because some mothers, when they heard that there is such a place, they even told us that there was mother who was telling us that one day got a bit of pain. They started walking, even in the early morning at 2 o'clock. He started walking to our house. So it may take very few hours to reach our house. Because when she was asked why you wanted to go to our house, because that mother said, because I know that if I can reach this house, I will be safe. Because I know people like Su Ching, they would look after me, taken care. So I don't feel the risk. I don't feel the fear of halfway anything happen to me, because still quite early. Even though you said my stomach pain maybe every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes, one time, I will walk. I will go to the house. See, so mothers' mentality start to change. They are willing to go to our house, and we keep encouraging. Of course, for the beginning, see, it's very challenging. The pregnant mothers not very keen to come and stay in our house, but you see volunteers will never give up. They keep going, keep telling, going to the kampong, asking the villagers to make full use of this house. So from there, and then everybody knows about it. See, and of course, for the last 20 years, people go in and out. You can say easy, it's not easy. You cannot easy, and then it's very helpful. But of course, when a lot of times people ask, hey, what is this house about Pitas? So I always tell them, see, when you come to Sabah, or you come to East Malaysia, you're in Kota Kinabalu, you can come to us. Or if you want to make a visit to the house, yeah, you're welcome. So we can bring you there to see. And then it's something different, no? It's something different. Of course, you can see pregnant mothers there. So all are welcome to our house if you don't mind us. If you want to visit. Actually, the doctors from the hospital are also very touched, and they're also very happy to know that we have a house there. So I have another one or two short video to play. So can you help me to play the second video?
Okay, brother.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
有如母亲怀胎10月诞下新生命般，重建完毕并运作了将近10个月的新必达式生命关怀之家，在众人的祝福下正式启用。
Bagi seorang ibu yang mengandung tinggal di sini, selesai lah, macam bersyukur lah. Yang adik-adik ini dapat yang menikmati yang macam begini sekarang ini.
生命关怀之家不仅是山区待产妈妈们生产前的住处，更是必达式医院坚强而有力的后盾。
Memang saya nampak perubahan pada ibu-ibu kami, terutamanya kes-kes yang berisiko yang kena kerap datang berjumpa dengan kami setiap bulan. Jadi di sinilah mereka tinggal. Okay? Kalau berbanding dengan dulu memang sangat bagus kawalan kencing manis ibu-ibu kami lah.
宽阔的空间、增设的住宿设备，将容纳更多的山区孕妇在生命关怀之家待产。
我们这个家是有10张床，我也拜托我们的护士说，你们去帮我去再做宣传，要鼓励这些妈妈都来我们这个家来住，所以他们会有一个安全的生产过程。
启用典礼结束之际，大家虔诚祈祷，祝福准妈妈们和即将诞生的新生命平安健康。带新闻马来西亚亚碧综合报道。
So thank you, sister. This is the celebration now. When after we have reviewed the house, we even invited our sister Chen, Echo Chen also been there.
医病救人也迎接新生命。
Okay, thank you. So that was during the time when we do the opening ceremony of the Pitas house after the review, and you see all the mothers, they all came there, and then some of the mother they delivered 2 or 3 baby, by this house. They get so used to it. So every time they will come to this house. So if you ask me, I think that this house play a very important role, and also it functions so well. And of course, if any one of you wanted to know more, it's the best to visit. If you in Malaysia, do come to Sabah, do come to our place, have a look at this house. And not only this house, I think advertisement here. Of course, in KK we have many other things to see also. Pitas, there may not be a lot of tourist attraction place, but this house is worth have a look. In fact, there is also other kampung villages also. We sometimes allow them to stay in the house because especially when they are sick. See, there was one case. This mother was pregnant, and then blood pressure was very high. The volunteer found out, and she refused to go for treatment. She refused to go to hospital because of the transport, because of the money to pay for the transportation, this and that. And then when you go to hospital, walk back or whatever, take days. So have to stay in a place to stay. So after our volunteer found out this, we encouraged, we arranged the mothers to go to the hospital. After that, they stay in our house. And then finally she accepted it. And then this is just one case only. There are many cases like this. So that we are making full use of the house. But of course, for the past few years, because the government also tried hard to make roads, to make better roads for the kampong people, and some of the kampong have already got this kampong road, and then some of the kampong folk, maybe the children also grown up, have their own, buy their own car, so that also helps a lot use some of the burden of the villagers. And for your information, see, our first baby born there is now 21 years old, university already. See, all the kids, 1,800 of them born via this house, we still can find them. We still can find them. See, if we call them, of course, not all will come. See, we still manage to find, especially the kids named called Chee, and also another one called Chelsea. We can still find them. See, so brother and sister, and my sharing, I would like to end here because of time. So I welcome you all. If today you are in Jieh or Sabah or Kinabalu, can call us, and we can, if you want, we can arrange you to visit. Thank you very much. Thank you all for your listening.
And then, brother.
Back to you, brother.
All right. And then so much for the very heartwarming sharing session. You know, when you were sharing about the mothers, it came to my mind that, you know, in our precepts, our first precept that you might, of course, the first precept is that we undertake not to kill, right? That's to refrain from killing, and that's the first precept. And one step further is not to hurt. But you have taken it one step further, is preserving life. And that's a great job there. You and the brothers and sisters have done so much to help preserve life. And life is so precious, and it's so rare to born as a human being. And you have done that. Cảm ơn so much, Sister Su Ching.
Cảm ơn Brother Chin for the wonderful message, and cảm ơn Brother Jieh. I would like to may I add a few words. Actually, when we first heard this story during Tima conference, as I'm talking, I was so like very touching. I first heard it from Brother Joseph. He was at the stage sharing to all the Tima conference participants about these stories. Brother CK, he's very humble. He downplayed the role of the volunteers. No, they need to spend. To us, we thought, hey, this is so good. If I'm the pregnant mother, definitely I want to stay here. It's free, lodging free, the food is free. Then you can be assured of a safe delivery. Otherwise, for them to walk all the way from their house, their homes, it's very far. Trekking the river and then walking very long, crossing the bridge to reach the hospital. Some of them even take like even I don't know like days. So that's why the mortality rate is very high. But is it easy? No. Brother Joseph, he shared us some video during that time, how the mother had to how they reach the hospital. It's very difficult already. That's why they wouldn't even dream of doing monthly checkup. Monthly checkup is, I think, impossible already. Not even, maybe they only go when they want to deliver. And the volunteers, they want to convince the villager to stay in this home also very difficult. They have to stay in the village months, have to talk to the pregnant lady, convince them. The pregnant lady said, no. If I go, who take care of my children? Who take care of my mother? Who take care of my old aged parents, they have so many considerations. That's why there's a reason why they don't want to come now. And the nurses also very heartfelt. The nurses also try to, like the nurses, the teaching volunteers all try to work convincing. So initially only like one lady I heard one or two. Slowly they I think at times they even allow them to bring like one child or what, because otherwise this child so small, no one can take care. No, but when Brother Joseph was sharing, all of us cried, we were thinking, wow, this group of volunteers see what they're doing. I think all over the world, of course, but this Pitas still really great salute. And I'm very grateful to Brother CK. Actually, I heard that many years ago, during the Kima conference many years ago, but the opportunity was not ready until the Lumbini trip, because we met Brother Yang, another brother from this Sabah team. Then he recommended us Brother CK. Very grateful today. Brother CK, you must continue to share on our platform. Ask more Pitas. We heard there are many stories. This is just one of it. Back to you, Brother Chee.
So the significance of Brother Chong about pregnant ladies is obviously it gives us to it gives life. But if you look back at the history of Shih, it also gives birth to Shih. So very, very, very meaningful indeed, and Canon so much for the inspiring sharing. All right, so next in the final session, we move on to Brother Victor and Sister Janet, whom they don't need any introduction. They've been regular on the platform. So I'm not sure whether you are still in the US or you're in Taiwan or you're in Beijing. But Canon so much for coming back and to share your wisdom with us. And so your title or your sharing this time around is Accompanying the Wandering Heart to the Shore. Platform is all yours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We really appreciate the chance to share with everybody online. Dear beloved Master Zhen Yan, Above Master Global Shih family, and online listeners, good morning. What a wonderful day for everyone. This is Victor Jieh. My Dharma name is Jieh.
This is Jenna Yao, and my Dharma name is Chee. We are from a Great Love Radio.
So let's talk about accompanying the wandering heart. That's the subject today.
What heart is this talk about?
Let's start from a movie story.
Okay. The movie is called 313. Anyone has seen this movie before?
Okay, probably not. Usually I seldom go to the movies. On one business trip, I was on the plane. I randomly choose this movie from the screen like any other passenger, but I choose the movie 313. I just want to know what it is going to talk about because this title really attracted me. Then when I watched, I was attracted by the movie. Why the name of the movie called 313? Let me give a simple description of the story to let you know what 313 means.
Okay. This movie is talking about a young man called Peter. For the sake of the life, dream and the love that he tried very hard to keep the pace with the step of the society economics. He applied the loan to buy the house, buy the cars, for the sake to keep the happy family. He even applied the loan and doesn't really care for the interest rate high or not. Due to the economic downturn, first he lost his job. Without a job, he starts to default on the loan he has. So he lost his home. Then his wife and his daughter also left him. He cannot find any job and end up as a homeless person wandering in the street.
So in this movie, it illustrated the 6 years life when he became a homeless person. So let us understand what a homeless person experienced. Those years, first he was locked down by other people. One time when he worked hard to accumulate some money, he wanted to have a good meal for himself in the restaurant. But when he arrived at the restaurant, he was denied to have a meal in the restaurant by the manager. The reason being that he looked dirty. Even he can pay for his meal, still got denied and kept him away from the restaurant. And finally, even denied his request to order to-go meal for himself. So the story ended up that the restaurant waitress brought a box of meal and give it to him. So this story tells the restaurant manager was trying to show that he looked down upon people who don't dress decent and nicely as himself and have prejudice over the homeless people.
Yes, the other story that one time he met a young man service at one restaurant. When he was at the back of the restaurant looking for food in the garbage bin, the young man gave him a meal in the box and advised him to do not eat the food from the garbage bin, and offered to give him a box of the meal every evening at the back of the restaurant.
So when he was on the street, he saw the police use a commanding tone to drive away the homeless people. Even sleep by the street still got driven away from the street. Some young men even used the BB gun to drive the homeless people away and even hurt him. So he kind of lose confidence in life and cannot get the food from the nice young man at the restaurant.
But in his heart, he still wished to survive in order to have a chance to see his daughter. With his wish in his mind, he went to the restaurant. The young man will try to arrange a job for him. He wished to give it a try, promised that he will come to the restaurant 7 a.m. in the morning the next day. But in the evening, when he was walking on the street, he heard the noise that the two young men was abused the younger. So he tried his best to beat the two young men in order to save the younger. But when the police arrived on site, the police automatically think the homeless could be the criminal and lock him up. Peter did not have any resistance. Fortunately, the safeguard told the police that Peter saved her to beat up those two young men. So he is released by the police, but due to his incident, he missed the chance to attend the job interview. He was so disappointed and would even try to suicide there. And when he tried to explain to the young man at the restaurant who tried to arrange the interview for him that he missed the interview is not because he is homeless, have any bad habit of not follow the appointment on time. And he told the young man that he still wished to get the chance of the job interview. So the young man promised him that he will arrange another job interview for him. So Peter got his encouragement. He made up his mind that he will try to win the job the next day. So he got the haircut and the shaved up and tried to live through the last night as a homeless in the evening. He brought with him his diary and his daughter's picture. He went to the subway station, slept on the bench. When he fell asleep, he never thought of that two young men poured alcohol over his body and set up a fire on him. The time he died is the 3:13.
So the story you just heard is based on news report. It's a true story. First, I want to thank the movie director and the producer, Mr. David Jieh, who is using the story to tell us your storytelling method using recording report way to present a very strange but a real existing story to me. I appreciate David present the real world homeless social phenomena to let us have a way to understand and explore. I really appreciate the story want us to think about the homeless problem from the first person point of view, to care and understand those innocent homeless friends. I appreciate that it not only let us have mercy on those people and let us come up the wisdom to help people who suffered. I also appreciate in this innocent world, we understand that we are really lucky and we need to cherish our luck and also try to give luck to other people. So today, let's care about those homeless people. You may have a chance to see those people on the street, have nowhere else to go, but they may bring everything they have with them. They may put a sign to show they are homeless and they need help. They have no place to shelter them, rain or shine. They don't have the economic capability or health reason. They have no place to live or live at below standard living place. So they can be found in the park, under some overpass, in the underpass, or behind some building under the stairs. So they are wandering in the city, collecting some garbage or begging or do some hard labor to earn a living. So they tend to gather those they picked up from the street. They deem it may be useful to them. They are always at the street corner, so naturally it looks dirty. People don't understand them, may deem those things they collected are just garbage. Actually, they are the store place for the homeless to put their collections. From the picture on the left, you can see some places need some improvements. So people put some garbage can put over there. They can sort their own things out. If some are really just garbage, they can just put them in the garbage can. So people like to give name to those people. They have many names. Today, we treat them as the friends on the street.
Okay, from the picture, you can see that some charity organization provide a tent to improve the street friend living standard. When talking about the care of the street friend, remind me of the day when I was living in the Berkeley.
So most people knows that there are many street friends in the city of Berkeley. If you've ever been there, we both are trying to do something for the street friends. So we try to prepare some food for them. As to what you can see on the top right corner of the screen, you can see the toast bread. At that time, when we have time, we bought a certain number of toasts, carrying them to the street friends to see if they are hungry and would like to take some toast as food. At that time, we feel that is the best we can do with our courage to do it.
Okay, now we review at that time when we were at the USCG. We have put in many effort, try to help the street friend. During the winter time, we visited their dwelling area. We prepared the new sleeping bag for them, along with some daily use thing. We go there by our own plane and look for them, give to them the things that we have prepared using the both hand, delivered to them with the respect. We also bring the student to do the distribution to the street friend. They are so happy to do the backpack and the blanket distribution to the street friend. When we saw them, they like these things we bring to them. We also feel so happy about it that they can use the thing we brought to them. Those little things we have prepared for them are like a small touch light, small dessert, small napkin, simple clothes. We wish them can live through the cold winter. Sometimes some street friend could like to donate some coin in the bamboo bank.
So in those early years, usually on Sunday morning, we serve the hot coffee and the bread as breakfast to the street friends. After so many years, it became one of the gathering events for some of the street friends. The breads are provided by a bakery shop for charity purpose. Our volunteers are coming to serve as a whole family activity. Some will prepare the hot oatmeal, hot sour soup, soft drink, coffee, or some apples. Some prepare the small daily use like a shaving knife, secondhand shoes, clothes for the street friends. When there's a lady came early in the morning, the temperature is a little chilly. She wore in short sleeve. So we find the coat just fit her size and needs. She was very happy about it.
You can see a volunteer barber who is happily doing the haircut for the street friend. This barber is the volunteer that we recruit from another activity. She saw how our volunteer did, so she also wants to be a volunteer with us. Her job is a barber in the barber shop, and she also brings her kids to join the breakfast serving activity for the street friend. And he comes weekly to do the haircut for the street friends. It always the best practice to introduce the new volunteer for the Shih when cultivate a good friend touch the people's heart in the purse.
So we have one old street friend called Peter, who used to be an engineer in Silicon Valley. From what we just talked with him, we realized that not until he got divorced, he gradually become a homeless people. He came to get food service from us, and he found what we are doing, our volunteer works, and he started helping to do the work to find out whatever he can do. The most often he did is cleaning the ground and cleaning the place after the barber volunteer finished the work. He helped clean up the distribution area. He's also become a volunteer with us. So he even donates money when we are doing the fundraising. One volunteer was very surprised with this and would like to match his donation. Although he's 80 years old, he still comes every Sunday to work with us. When some street friends wanted to have some secondhand shoes, the volunteer is helping the street friend to try to find the right size of the shoes for them. We serve them with respect until we understand what he or she really wants, and we remember their needs. When we found other people's donate shoes, we will look out for them.
Yeah. We went to the food bank to purchase, to deliver the food to our kitchen. Some kitchen are at the church, and some are at our city kitchen. We call it is the charity kitchen to cook for them. The Chinese food, which to include 炒面、炒饭, and the spring roll. Those are the popular food, and bring the hot meal to serve them. The volunteer have passed the on-site COVID test kit. We serve the food with the full serving uniforms with the mask, hand gloves, and the apron. We serve them with the great respect because we treat them as our friends. We must serve them at a safe food to eat and the delicious food to make them happy, enjoy the food. So we serve them either at a church or homeless shelter or park.
So usually after we serve the food, we have time, we go to their dining area and see if they like the food, or if they want more food, and let them to get more food. In the meantime, we chat with them, understand what they're talking about, and we interact with them. Some show appreciation of the taste of food, like the way, and also like the way we serve them. We met an artist, and he introduced the way he drew his artwork to us. And after the meal, he showed us his unique way to paint. We talked to him and learned from his art and respect his unique way to paint. And he showed us a picture he painted for the Buddha. He was showing his painting skill happily. We also discussed with another street friend about the benefit of eating vegetarian food. He can not only help himself be a healthier person, and also it's a good deed for the environment. So everybody can benefit from it. So go through the conversation, we show our care for them, and by listening to their words, understand they are just like us, a human being, but in some difficult situation. In the shelter, also provide some job training and job fair to help them to find a job. So we also provide the free clinics. That is what we need to do for the underprivileged group of people, for instance, the low-income family or street friends. Our volunteer can get trained as a dental assistant before we attend the free clinic with the dentist.
Recognize the people's real difficulty. Change the thought to have the meaningful life. Does homelessness means no place to live? The reason being loss of job, not enough money to pay for the rent, family reason, personal reason. People is not so simple as just need a meal, a blanket, or just attendant. We need to spend the time to really understand with the empathy about the mirrors, the problems that people has. Social, economic, family, job, the market changing, whatever. So we try to recognize the people real difficult. What is the real difficult? That's what we needed to do.
So for resolving homeless problem and create a win-win situation, so we need to help homeless people sort out their problem. So we need to examine them from different angles and find ways to solve them. So do not force them to go to the shelter. Understand them and help them by identify their identity. Contact their relatives to help them to go home. Or when homeless individuals have nowhere else to turn, seeking government assistance is essential. If they are hesitant to accept help from the government, we can still provide them with valuable information of available social services. If their family does not want them back, they are deserted, and we should help them to seek government's help.
Yes. The possibility of letting the homeless go back to society from the volunteer point of the view. They used to be a normal people like everyone else. So it is Curtis arranged the communication opportunity with the homeless, those the street friend. This will not only help us to understand them better, but also show them that we care. Gradually, eliminate and misunderstanding. So provide an opportunity for them to get into the internship to be a reward for their labor. So help them to have a hope and a warm environment so that they can feel like a home. That's what we try to do for them.
So must have love. So as you can see, the society, the community with love, and the government, they will provide a hope for the improvement of their life for the homeless people. You can see those tents are provided by the government and the community for those homeless people. Also, the United Nations Economic and Social Council's statement has a broader definition of a homelessness. It defines a homeless as follows. So when discussing housing, we're not just talking about 4 walls and the roof. So I want to share a story from one county mayor in the state of Utah in the USA. His name is Ben McAdam. One day, he's such a nice mayor. He wants to solve the problem. So he poses as a homeless person for 3 days and 1 night. That means 2 nights, because he wants to experience what the homeless experience in his county. So he wants to find out why homeless people try to avoid the city provided homeless shelter. Nobody tell his reason. He wants to experience it by himself as a homeless. When he dressed like a homeless, joined the homeless shelter provided city, so the feeling he got is the fear, drug abuse, and the chaos in that environment. So the Ben, he stayed at the road home. That's a city provided shelter for the homeless. What he is described as a fact finding. So the fact finding, he made a one-in-one statement. I didn't feel safe. I absolutely did not feel safe. So he provided homeless shelter. That's the feeling he got by himself. Then in the homeless shelter, he got some advice from the people stay there. The first piece of advice he got, don't take off your shoes. So he doesn't understand it. Then he got into the shelter. There's a 3-level bed. So when people get into upper bed, often they take off their shoes. But the results in the morning, somebody will wear his shoes. He will lose his shoes. So the first advice, don't take off your shoes, even if you stay on the top level of the bed. So he find out that the conclusion he got from that is the real victim. Who is the victim? Are the homeless. So that means the homeless, once getting the city provided shelter, become a victim. So the second advice he got, don't go to the bathroom after dark.
Why?
So he doesn't want to describe that in detail. So when he left the city provided homeless shelter, his decisions immediately reduced the intolerable lawless surrounding at the road home. That means the city provided homeless shelter. And he also get the feelings, the most time in that environment, he just see a handful of people like zombie-like. just a living ghost. Depressed state means no hope. That kind of feeling for those homeless people stay there. He said, but I knew, he said from his own standpoint, he's not a homeless people. So his gut feelings is, I knew that if something happened, I have health insurance, I have a family, I have a home. My backstop was a phone call away. That means normal people with that. But for the homeless people, they don't have that kind of way to get out of it. Okay? So that's his deep feeling. That goes back to the local government, like a famous city called San Francisco. The way they treat the homeless, so they try to get a fund, and in the fiscal year 21, 22, they build new housing, like close to 2,000 units for those homeless. That's the best the government can do, local government can do. So we can look at another place in San Francisco called Pier 94. It's also part of San Francisco, but at a suburb of the city called Hunters Point. So there are 1,115 street friends are in that area. Okay. So those people, they have a place with trailer. Only 157 of them can stay there. So those people in the Hunters Point, they are 1/7 of the homeless population in San Francisco. So as you can see, those are very serious problem for the city.
San Francisco. So now, this is another lonely, isolated area. There are 170 homeless that are living in this area. Not many people visited here. The Chee volunteer brought the warm clothes and the sleeping bag for them and distributed to the people here. People who received it shows happiness and appreciates. The COVID-19 related confirmed case was located in one area, and another area is taking up application for the homeless people to live. So Chee volunteer brought the warm clothes, sleeping bag, backpack to roast the area for roast the homeless to use. The community administrator for the homeless shelter showed appreciation to the Chee. It is very good praising for the homeless people living there as a Christmas gift.
So let's go to another city like Jakarta. That's another example. We found people who live very close to the railroad in the city. Because there are about 200,000 people come to the city from the countryside each month. They must have find place to live. Most of them live in this kind of area. So the railway is very busy traffic route. The train pass by every 20 minutes. So Suli volunteer visit that area. We once find out at midnight, children are playing on the back street by the railroad. So the volunteer find out people live in this area, even very crunchy, small area, but they share the living space. So for the children, tell the volunteers that it's not time for them to go to bed until after midnight. When they the share place people, they leave for work, they can go back to sleep. So you never know something that people seldom hear about this kind of story. So you can see from the train, there's not much space left along the rail. If anyone did not hear the train is coming, accident may happen anytime.
So today we share the story for you. They tell us the time before dawn is the darkest period. Only with the gratitude, respect, and the love will we see the light coming. So
Thank you for your
listening.
listening.
Thank you.
Karen, so much, Brother Victor and Sister Janet, for a truly another inspiring and heartwarming session. When you were showing the pictures, Brother David, welcome.
I'm so sorry. I
Oh.
didn't bring my cell phone with me yesterday. I came back to Taipei. Big mistake.
Trust you are well, Brother David.
Yeah, she say now, if no cell phone, how you survive now?
That's true.
You know, there is a Chinese, they say 一鸡在手啊，一鸡呀，
手机啊，
一鸡在手啊，天长地久啊，鸡不在手啊，魂都没有啊。So big mistake. But yesterday, the doorway is still not open because in Hualien, they were destroyed by the landslide. So they closed the railway. Maybe tomorrow night they open, but don't know, you know. So yesterday I did from Hualien and take the South Link Railway from Hualien east side go to southern the southern side, south side of Taiwan to Kaohsiung. Then from Kaohsiung I take high-speed rail, go up to north to Taipei. It's a big circle. So I take about 8 hours from Hualien to my house.
Oh, wow.
Normally 2 to 3 hours. Yeah.
But we
I
heard
have
about
to come back. I have to come back. I cannot wait. So in a hurry, I forgot my cell phone. Yeah. When I arrived the Hualien railway station, wow, big mistake. My cell phone not with me. I cannot go back to collect, you know, because the southern link of the railway is very few. I take the PM the train. If I go back to collect my cell phone, then I miss the train. Then I have to go another 6 hours. Wait another 6 hours. So no way. That's why this morning I call Kang Lu, you know Kang Lu, our construction team from Portland and Kuala Lumpur. They arrived last night to a boat. I call the secretary. They call to Su Ching. Immediately get the Zoom code. That's why I can connect now. I'm very sorry.
Wonderful. Nice to see you, Brother David. And I hope the situation is getting better in Taiwan.
Yesterday just stopped. Yesterday still have raining in southern side. But today I think will be better.
Okay.
Not so big damage.
Yeah.
How actually, Brother Victor, you know, when you were showing the pictures of the homeless, how pervasive are the homeless people in the U.S.?
In U.S.
Yeah, U.S. Yeah, we were talking about the homeless at a different country, including the U.S.
What about in the U.S.? Is it extensive?
Yeah, the homeless people is a serious problem in the society. It's everywhere, but you know, in California, got the most homeless people, like 1/3 of the homeless people. Like the calculation, probably over 1.8 million homeless people in the U.S. right now.
Oh wow!
That means 1/3 is about 600,000 homeless people in California. So those the story I talked about is the city is in Utah. It's next to California. So that city mayor wants to cure the problem for his county. So he try to experience that. So in Silicon Valley, because the high-tech industry, sometimes they got lay off people. And some people used to be very good life, like the one we talked about, the Peter. He used to be an engineer. Then he ended up as homeless people. So it's the problem is big. We just, as Shih, we're just trying to help as much as we can with empathy. We don't, some people just live like everybody else, living normal life. But suddenly, because of economic change, job market change, you never know. It happens like impermanence in life, right? From Master Zeng told us, we just help the people with sport luck. We should help people, without luck. Yeah. So that's what we should do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Thank you again for the very heartwarming and inspiring work that is being done. And actually, Brother David, I also understand in Taiwan, are there homeless people? I saw some pictures. Them in the I think it's a railway station. I can't remember now.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
This
Taipei railway station.
Every country.
Yeah.
In Taipei, the Taipei 那个什么那个 main station, Taipei main station, also so many homeless.
Oh.
But the city government no way to solve. No way. They're sleeping at the entrance of the railway station. Taipei main station. No way to solve. I just came back from Seattle 2 weeks ago. They told me there are more than 10,000 homeless people in Seattle. See, these people call it the paradise. Still have so many dark areas. And this tough issue for the government.
Are there all this because of the change in the economic circumstances, I guess?
I think so.
Yeah, there are many reasons. Yeah, different reasons. Yeah.
Okay. The homeless issue keep long term already, right?
Yeah, it's
so
a long term.
Very hard to change because hard to solve because this is something to do with the human right. And Su Ching also cannot do something for them. Very difficult. Yeah. In Taiwan, so obvious, in the main station, so many places they have the homeless people. But Su Ching also cannot do it. This is quite tough.
Okay. All right. Brother Victor and Sister Janet, Brother David, it's been great having
three questions, right? Three questions, right?
Questions?
Brother David, Brother Q&A is next Saturday, 3rd of August, the first Saturday of the month. So Brother David, it's next Saturday. We look forward to Brother David's session.
Do I continue to share or?
8月3号，其实8月3号，
不是今天
了。
好
OK， 因为
我
们要改回去。
I see you. Okay.
That's everyone.
I see you next time. Okay, bye bye.
Okay. Maybe we can take a photo. Can turn on the video.
Okay.
All right, those who are around can turn on the video and we shall take a photo.
Wow, brother, all the wonderful bodies. Wow. This is Jenna, brother. They keep up the good work. We learn a lot. We are also doing street friends here. Very inspiring.
Sister Effie, you're taking the photo?
And brothers and sisters.
This brother, take. Ready, Okay.
All right. Cảm ơn so much.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next time. Bye.
And then.